What's up? It's the Benchwarmers back again with another draft day analysis video. We already did a reaction to our favorite teams' picks. Check those out. And we did analysis and grading of picks 1 through 10. This video is going to be analysis and grading picks 11 through 20. So if you haven't checked out those previous videos, please check them out after you check this video out also. So we're going to be grading these picks. We're going to be reacting to these picks. And at the very end, this includes one person who's going to be analyzing the pick, which you won't want to miss at all. So without any further ado, with the 11th pick, go ahead, Andy.
11th pick was actually taken by the Bears, even though this was originally the Giants pick. It was a pretty interesting trade, and we actually already reacted to that in another video on our channel, so go and check that out. But the Bears ended up taking Justin Fields, which we all agreed was a massive steal. Justin Fields is the second best quarterback in all of our opinions. We thought he would go within the top like 8 probably, and to see him go at 11 is pretty interesting. The only reason, so we actually gave this an A minus, and the only reason it's not higher is because they did have to give up a future first, a fourth this year, a fifth this year, and a fourth next year in order to trade up for this pick, which is quite a lot of value. So that's the only reason the pick, the grade isn't as high.
At 12th, the Cowboys picked Micah Parsons. They actually received this pick in a trade with the Eagles, which also happened in our previous video, which you should watch. And while Micah Parsons is a very good tackling linebacker and is probably the best linebacker in this draft in terms of just being a run stopper and not in terms of coverage, we think that there were some better options out there or some other alternatives, such as Jalen Phillips being an edge, or maybe even Kwity Paye as another edge rusher. But that being said, the Cowboys defense was struggling a lot, and a linebacker position was a major need. I think Sean Lee also retired recently, so it is very important that the Cowboys get this linebacker position back to what it was before. So we gave this a B plus. So great pick, great positional need, but it could have potentially been better.
Next, with the 13th pick, the Chargers selected Rashawn Slater. And I think this is probably the best pick in the entire draft so far. In fact, we gave it an A+ grade for a couple of reasons. First, this is the #1 positional need for the Chargers. They need someone to protect Justin Herbert for the foreseeable future because that offense is really, really dominant, and that defense, if it gets healthy, is also quite dominant. So having someone to on the O-line to dig in the trenches to protect their run game and their quarterback is just going to be amazing for the future. Additionally, Rashawn Slater was slated to go around 7th or 8th, and he fell all the way to 13th. As many people actually consider him the #1 prospect at the offensive line position because of his experience in facing NFL level talent, including Chase Young, which he has some very good game tape against. So the fact they're getting him at the 13th pick, they keep in mind they went 7-9 and had some very close games. They went to overtime and actually beat the Kansas City Chiefs in their 2 matches versus the Kansas City Chiefs this past season. So them getting possibly the best tackle prospect is an A+ pick for them.
Next, we have the Jets, who actually traded up with the Vikings, and they ended up taking Elijah Vera Tucker. This is a solid pick because he's a pretty good offensive lineman, has versatility at both the guard and tackle positions. However, we only gave this pick a B-. This is just because we believe they traded a bit too much to get him. They had to trade 2 third-round picks in order to trade up. And we think they still could have gotten an offensive lineman later in the draft. Not quite as good as Vera Tucker, but someone like probably Tevin Jenkins, who still hasn't been taken yet as we're recording this. So that's why they get a B-.
At 15th, the Patriots selected Mac Jones. We gave this pick an A, and this is because Mac Jones is a very good quarterback, and he fits the Patriots scheme very well. There were a lot of rumors that Bill Belichick really wanted Mac Jones, and Mac Jones was his #1 guy. And Mac Jones fits very well with the Patriots offense. He's very Brady-like in the sense that he's smart, he's accurate, he knows what passes to make, but he's not necessarily the most athletic. So he fits in very well with this Patriot system, and dropping all the way to 15th was a best case situation for Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
With the 16th pick, the Arizona Cardinals selected Zaven Collins, linebacker. In my opinion, in our opinion, I guess it was an okay pick. It wasn't amazing. I think taking a guy like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah or taking a cornerback like Greg Newsome or Caleb Farley would have probably been the better option for the Cardinals there. But I think that what they did isn't too bad. They have another, I guess, I guess you could say defensive floor general, if you will. So I think that having a guy like Zaven Collins, who has had some big time moments, also had a couple of like fluffs in his game tape. I think that it's okay. It's not great. They could have done a bunch of other things this pick. That's why we give it only a C.
Next, we had the Raiders, who took Alex Leatherwood. We thought this was a pretty interesting pick because there were other offensive linemen on the board who we thought are better, including Christian Darrisaw and Tevin Jenkins. So to see them take Leatherwood's a bit interesting. And also, Leatherwood kind of profiles a bit more as a guard than the other two options, whereas the Raiders are really in need of an offensive tackle. So I don't know why they would go with Leatherwood here. We gave this a mediocre C minus.
The 18th, the Dolphins selected Jalen Phillips. While most people may not see Jalen Phillips as the best prospect, we think that at his position as edge rusher, he fits the Dolphins the best. And this is because I guess while Kwity Paye may have been higher ranked, he's just not as versatile. I guess Kwity Paye may be a better pure edge rusher and defensive end, but Jalen Phillips can also play the 3-4 outside linebacker position, which we think would be more useful for the Dolphins because that's another positional need for them. So we gave this pick a B+. It was a very ideal positional need, but once again, it may have not been the best value. It wasn't really a steal, but it was still a great positional need that they addressed.
With the next pick at 19, the Washington football team selected Jamin Davis, another linebacker who was picked before Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I mean, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is one of my favorite players, and he still hasn't been picked, which is quite surprising. Jamin Davis, I guess a couple of knocks for him, even though he is quite athletic and has a lot of potential. I think that he didn't play the best competition at Kentucky. He played okay competition, and his stats weren't eye-popping. The game tape was pretty good, and he was, I think, a quite late riser. He has the potential. He has an NFL-ready body. Just whether he has the talent and he can be coached well enough to be to be a really good player, worthy of a first-round pick for the Washington football team. Was a loaded defense already. That's what's to be seen. I think they could have had a lot of other options, including at the offense and the offensive end, and maybe even cornerbacks. So I think that this grade ends up being a C+.
Finally, or the final pick in this video is the Giants taking Kadarius Toney. I thought this was a pretty interesting pick because even though it does fill a positional need, we do need a slot receiver to complement Kenny Gallay's kind of physical threat playing style and Darius Slayton's kind of deep threat playing style. I just think that the other receiving options were better, like Rashad Bateman. He's one of my favorite receivers in this class, and to take him at 20 would have been a steal in my opinion. But this is still a decent pick. It's not terrible, so we just gave it a C flat. But that wraps it up for this video reacting to the 11th through 20th picks of the 2021 NFL Draft. If you liked it, remember to like. If you didn't, let us know why in the comments below. This is the Benchwarmers signing out. See ya.